What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 3 crypto mining stocks today: Marathon and CleanSpark for Muffin, Btbt for Flower Child. A few of you have been asking why the mining stocks are going down, but Bitcoin's going up. That's a great question. It's actually a really good question. My immediate thought is that we're getting near the halving. The halving is not necessarily a bullish event for miners, but if we take into consideration that generally speaking on most halvings for Bitcoin, we are like 50% or more away from the all-time high price, right? 50% or more. But here we're like 1%, 2%. What are we right now? Let's see. Come on. There we go. 2.4% away. So think about this. Normally we're at a 50%, the smallest difference we've seen on the day of the halving from the all-time high to where Bitcoin price is at the day of the halving, it's been 49% or greater. So you're at 50% of where you were at the all-time highs for value, and then you take a 50% cut on top of that. But now you're taking a 50% cut when you're at this, like, miners generally shut off around not all miners, just some miners who aren't prepared. It's very common for miners to shut down. Certain companies, certain organizations, independent miners, whatever, they shut down because the power is too expensive for them to run their mining operations around the time of the halving. They're getting less rewards. But now you're getting paid closer to like you're getting paid a lot more relative to like what's ever been for any halving period ever. So I don't think the halving right now is what's bearish for the crypto mining stocks, is all I'm trying to say. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me either, guys, that the mining stocks are going down while Bitcoin is going up. The only thing that makes sense to me is that the TA is what makes sense, man. The TA, I know I was making bearish calls the last time I talked about these. The TA stands for that, and I said it even in the last video that if Bitcoin went up, being that these they are affected more or less by Bitcoin, that could be the one thing that it negates the TA and then just continues to go up. But apparently not, man. The TA is strong on these charts. You do have weekly bearish divergence. It is presented. It is confirmed. It is there. Likely we are going to see prices revert back to probably just below $12, like, genuinely speaking. It makes sense. It's what it does. You're in this channel, you're at the top of it, you're gonna pull back. Oh, we're not looking at CleanSpark though. I'm sorry. We're looking at Marathon. We'll get to CleanSpark, okay? But Marathon, yeah, topping off a little bit, bearish divergence there as well. Let's look at the daily. You know what I want to do is I want to look at the correlation coefficient to Bitcoin as well. See what the relationship is to Bitcoin, and see if you're going through a phase of uncorrelated behavior, right? Look at this. So it's correlated. Above the 0 means more of a correlation than not of a correlation. As you get to that 1 level, it's a direct correlation, okay? But you're not directly correlated the whole time. You go through phases of uncorrelation, or less correlation, I should say. And it looks like you're entering a phase. Like, if you just use your eyes and see it, right, you can see when these phases come. Like, this to me does look like we're starting that. So this would imply then that Bitcoin could move up and this stock could still move down. Now, just because this starts going down doesn't mean that if Bitcoin goes down that the price is going to go up. Bitcoin could go down 2% and then this moves down 10%. That would still keep it correlated, but less correlated, less so correlated, right? They're not moving in unison. So that's something to take into consideration too, is the phases of correlation, which I think, looking at it, you can see we're coming out of it on the daily perspective. On a weekly perspective, too, it kind of looks like that as well. We're not always correlated. We go through phases where we're less correlated, more correlated, a lot less correlated, stuff like that. So Marathon, guys, I do think is going to move down. I think it's going to move down higher than this low, not lower than this low. We'll probably see prices at about $20 to $19 and then move up. That's Marathon. Okay, CleanSpark now. Also at a high point, but it might not be getting uncorrelated. Let's see. Daily, it makes sense. Yeah, it looks like it is. So again, this correlation coefficient is kind of helping us see that not always is it 100% correlated. And we were for a while, since like the beginning of February, right? We were very correlated to BTC. but now we're entering a phase where we might not be as correlated. So that happens, man. It really does happen. Like, let's see here. Back in December, we were getting uncorrelated. We were moving down, and that was December, essentially like the end of December. Yeah, Bitcoin was moving sideways, and it actually started moving up. So we've seen this happen before. It happens. These things can move up while Bitcoin moves down. They can move down while Bitcoin moves up. It does happen. Even though we like to think of them as like directly related. Bearish divergence on CleanSpark is real on the daily. Absolutely, I think we're going lower. And just to reiterate what I've said several times, on a weekly basis here, when we had our little high here, broke above it, found support on it, moved up higher, had our little high here, broke above it, moved up higher, found support on it. I think that we are going to now come back down, find support on this weekly high. No, it's not that high. No, it's not the tip. It's the closing high. It's the closing high. It's the closing high. That's at $11.69. So somewhere around there is where I think we're going. Is that right? Is that accurate? $11.89. That's what I thought. Okay, there we go. $11.89 is where I think we're going. Potentially a little bit lower than that. That's okay if we do, but a little bit around that area, below $12. It could happen this week. It could happen next week. Who knows? But I think that's where we're going. So that's CleanSpark, and then let's talk about Btbt. Btbt, also coming uncorrelated. You know, you can see this direct relationship here. It helps. This tool helps to kind of understand why is Bitcoin moving up, but this is moving down. That's probably my best answer. And I guess, to elaborate on that, I don't know why the correlation is moving down, other than it's just something that happens. It's just something that happens. That's my best answer. Because again, being that we are the closest to the all-time high, literally like at it compared to any other halving event that we've ever seen, I would think that's bullish for the miners. But maybe there's something going on that we don't know. Maybe it is the TA just being respected. Maybe it's just not their time to grow. You know, they moved up and now they need to correct a little bit. But Btbt, man, is not looking good. It's kind of looking like it wants to move to $1.50 to $1.07. One of the few that these targets I had a while ago might still be standing, actually. Closing below your 618 like that, I don't like that, man. The weekly RSI does not look good. The daily RSI does not look good either. I want to say you might be moving to $1.50. And maybe you don't. Maybe you hold $2.19, maybe. If you don't hold $2.19, though, if you close below that on a daily basis, $1.50, $1.06 is where you're going. And that's all I got for you guys. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Look at that correlation coefficient for yourself. You know, pull it up, and you can see, just kind of monitor the relationship, see how long they last or whatever. But being what this is, I would think we have a little bit more of this uncorrelation to go. So if Bitcoin moves up, or even if it moves sideways and this continues to move, this would drop to a less correlated factor. But that's all I got for you guys. So take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Peace out.